Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Fredrick, Colorado. My name is Michaela. This morning we are going through a brand new 2025 Cimarron Norstar 3-horse gooseneck RTG front tack. Before we get to our trailer here in person, I want to run through our dimensions together for you guys and just go over some of those important numbers. We are looking at an 18-foot floor length on this one. So your short wall on your tack room is 3 foot 8 inches. We're looking at our standard size of 6'10 wide, 7'1 tall, and then we do have an empty weight of 4,800 pounds on this trailer. We are going to run through this trailer pretty good in depth today because I do like to do these inventory trailers as also good videos to reference if you're looking at building a trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and run through kind of our standard options, what an RTG front tack means, and what you guys can do to these Cimarrons as you can do full custom builds with these guys. So coming up here, RTG stands for ready to go. So your ready to go front tack is just a front tack package option that's gonna get you all the amenities that you want in a front tack. There are some things that we as Transwest change here on our trailers. We do custom order all of our inventory trailers. We don't just say, hey, send us a 3-horse RTG gooseneck. We look through this spec sheet and we change options that we feel that need to be changed or that we feel our customers really appreciate, and that I do run a Cimarron myself, so I can appreciate these changes that have been made here versus the ones that I have on mine that are not these ones here. And we'll go through that together. But starting right here at your door, you are going to get your 42-inch swing standard. So this will come with your RTG, is this big oversized door. We do this so that when you swing out your saddle rack, there's still room to get in and out. And then you do have room on your door for your blanket bars now. And I love, and I've heard from my customers that they love that this is outside of their trailer. It's not shoved back in there. It's not on the partition wall. It's sometimes you can place them on the saddle rack, but they really like that it's out here, easily accessible, and it does swing out on your gas shock, same as your saddle racks. And that's nice because on that gas shock, it will hold itself back up against the door without any hardware interference. So it's nice that you don't have to swing out your pads. You can just come slide them on and off right here. I've got this set up on mine, though mine is faced the other way. So mine, you actually have to kind of come around in and get your pads on this way. I love that they're faced out this way. It's just a lot easier, more accessible, especially when your saddles swing out here. It's gonna be real easy to throw your saddles there, walk over and put your pads here versus having to come in from this angle. So this is a nice change. And then you do have your sliding bus window on your door. That is also standard. That is nice to get some ventilation through your tack room, but also to get some ventilation over your blanket bars. So if you do go rodeo, horse show, or trail ride out of this trailer and you do have wet pads thrown back on this blanket bar before you drive home, you just crack that window. It's gonna get some really good air movement across these bars and just help dry out your pads. That window is also great. It's a great tool to use, a great trick if you have trouble closing this door. These doors have a very, very airtight seal all the way around. Same with all of your drop windows. We've got a lot of drop windows on this trailer, but all of your doors and windows have a very airtight seal. These doors can be hard to shut. Sometimes if you just give it a shut, it'll bounce back at you. Sometimes if you push kind of hard on it, it'll still bounce back at you. That's because it needs the air to go somewhere. And a lot of people will struggle with not getting that oomph behind it and still popping open. Just give that window a little crack, give that air somewhere to go, and then it'll make this so much easier when you shut it, pushes the air out, and then you can just slide that window shut. So a little trick for you guys there if you're struggling with that. And then down below, we have a brush tray. So that will be standard as well. I like this on my trailer. It's just a great little spot to hold all of your smaller items. I've got rubber bands, fly spray, mane and tail detangler, brushes, hoof picks, old Chicago screws. I've got all kinds of stuff down in there. Never know what you'll find, but I appreciate it because it is so big. It's gonna hold all those items, and I did eliminate the need for my brush box or like my grooming tote. I don't have that kind of skating around on my floor anymore. I've got it all put in there. And then good view right here of our fold down step. This is not standard. This is an upgrade. So you will see a charge for this on your build sheet if you're looking at building a trailer. Your RTG does not include this because when you are standard width, you technically do have your running board. So running board would be here in place of this fold down step, which is how my Cimarron at home is set up. It just has that running board, does not have the fold down step. you guys can see there is a good difference right here from where your running board sits to where your fold down step is. That's several inches right there. And I've had people watch these videos and they come walk the lot and they kind of laugh a little bit. They go, we watch those videos, we don't probably need that fold down step. That's why we're looking at either a different trailer or building one without. We just don't feel that's necessary. And then they come walk the lot and they say, wow, that actually is pretty nice. And I can tell you guys, I don't have it on mine. I come walk the lot and I step in these all day long and show customers. Fold down step is very nice. And if you don't need it, you can fold it up out of the way and get much closer to your tack room and reach anything this way as well. But no, you see that on all of our inventory trailers here because that's how we do it at Transwest. We love that fold down step. We're gonna taper our running board and throw that on most, if not all of our trailers. But keep in mind, you will be paying for that. And then swing out saddle rack. I have had a walk on Monday that was kind of fighting these a little bit. And I like to point out, again, they're on a gas shock. It's gonna be kind of stiff right now. You're really gonna have to pull on it to get it out. But once it gets going, it hits that breaking point, it's gonna help itself out. Same with going in, you're really gonna wanna shove it till it gets to that breaking point, then it's gonna help itself back in. But also note, these do get easier when you throw weight on there. So once you get your saddles on there, that gas shock gets a whole lot easier for you guys. These saddle racks, I love these saddle racks. I'll say it in all my videos, I've never had a saddle come off of one of these racks. I think two things, the carpet is a great grip factor, and then the wither block right here that sets up in the gullet of your saddle just gives it a really good shape. Kind of just looking at here, it kind of looks like the back of your horse. Maybe their withers are here and their shoulders come down here. This is where your saddle's gonna set. It's gonna stay on there. I've never had one fall off. I love these, and you guys know we spend a lot of money on our tack. We want it to fit our horse properly. We don't want it ending up on the ground after every single haul, which is only gonna start to wear on your saddle and maybe make it ill-fitting and hurt your horse in the long run. So really appreciate these here, and also that these are fully adjustable. So on this track, it's like a groove built in right here. You're gonna get an adjustable wrench to loosen your up high one, and then the one that's hiding underneath, loosen those, and then you can slide these up and down anywhere on this track. You guys can add another one if you wanted to. We could definitely fit a fourth one on here. You guys can favor them up a little bit. My stirrups like to drag because I've got long legs and long stirrups, so I typically do favor mine up, but also want to space them out for my barrel saddle horns. If you got English saddles, you can run them closer together and get some more on here. That's great. Options, you guys can use it however you need to. And we do have some customers that will, you guys can delete your blanket bar right here. You could do a door organizer instead, or you can do a couple brush trays. We've got some customers that will just do 3 brush trays on this door. And they'll take these blanket bars and they'll put one in between each of their saddles. That's an option for you guys. Just kind of get creative with your thinking, however you need to use it. You've got options with these Cimarrons. We'll go and push this in and step in here though. Take note of the floor as we step in. You guys will see this is black rubber mat flooring. This is not standard, so this is an upgrade here. Standard is gonna be carpet. So this carpet would be what's included in your RTG all the way across the floor. I've got it in mind. If you're gonna be using this space for tack purposes, I really despise the carpet. It will get dirty, it will hold the moisture, it will hold the smell. If you're gonna be using this as a dressing room and you want the carpet under your feet to change clothes, that's perfect. That's a great use for it. I've got a customer right now building a comfort package, so her tack is separate. She wants the carpet in here. That's great. If you're gonna use it for a tack room, I do encourage my customers to at least upgrade to your rubber mats. If you want to go full seamless, to delete this seam that you guys will see over here and also get a full seal up against all of your walls, you can upgrade one step further to your gray rubber tread flooring. Okay, over here with our boot box, we do have the fully carpeted boot box. Acts as a step as well if you need to change your clothes. You're just going to hang out in here at a horse show, after a trail ride, at a rodeo. It's going to be way more comfortable in here because your Cimarron's insulated roof. So if you're hanging out in here, good spot. Also acts as storage. So you guys could throw a bunch of stuff in there if you want to. Mine, I do have one in mine. I love it. It fits a whole bunch of stuff. I've probably forgotten what all is in there. I'm probably gonna go through and clean it out for spring cleaning, but good spot to keep everything kind of contained up off your floor, and then dual purpose as your step up into your nose. But you guys will see the size of this boot box. First thing is 12 inches deep. That's what mine is. It's a good size. I can still get a lot of things in there. But if you're wanting to get those 5-gallon water buckets in here, your horse buckets, they're not going to fit. You're going to want to upgrade to the 18-inch boot box. Makes it a little bit deeper. Maybe you can definitely do that in this tack room without adding length. If you want to add some length to your tack room, you can definitely do that too. But you'll want to go 18 inches on your boot box to fit those water buckets in here. And then length here. So standard, I think, is going to be all the way across your tack room. This one we've actually got a credit on this boot box because we did shorten it up right here. And this is just to give you guys extra floor space here if you did want to store a tack trunk or anything that just needs that floor space. We wanted to give you guys that option. But we can also carry your boot box across. And if you are going to carry your boot box all the way across and go the 18 inches deep, we will need to add length due to your door frame right there. But no, you can make that any size you want to. And then up in the nose, full carpet up here. I've got that in mind. I appreciate the carpet up here because it adds the grip for anything that I store up in here. I actually have a shop at my house now. So I'm getting most of my stuff, like most of my extra fly sheets and winter blankets and coolers and stuff, stored in my totes in my shop, which has been great. But I still have a whole bunch of extra stuff up here. I do barrel racing. You win a lot of awards barrel racing. So I've got a lot of extra like nice tote bags full of splint boots, bell boots, soft ride boots, all that good stuff. Got extra pads up there. But I like that when I set stuff up there, it stays because of this carpet. I've never had anything kind of slide off and get down on my floor that way. And then you do have your sliding bus windows, those big oversized ones on each side. So you guys get some good ventilation that way. Those do measure 19 by 34. So good. You guys can slide those open for 50% and get some good airflow across there. If you did want to overnight out of this trailer, that's definitely an option there, especially with your carpet. That'll make it a lot nicer. And then over here on our short wall, we do have RTG includes this shelf. It has a 2-inch lip, so stuff will set down in there, and then it's got your rubber mat in there as well. So I've got this on my trailer. I've got all this up here full of stuff. Got a whole bunch of extra cinches that lay in there perfectly. Got some extra corner feeders I never put in my trailer up there. I think I've got a rope up there as well. But nice that that 2-inch lip will hold your stuff in there. It's not going to slide out. And then down below, you've got your clothes bar. That's part of this shelf package. Know that you guys can change any of this stuff. If you want to lengthen your trailer, lengthen your shelf, delete the clothes bar, anything like that, keep that in mind. But this is what you get standard with your RTG. So clothes bar, if you are horse showing, rodeoing out of this trailer, you've got change of clothes that you need to go with you, rain slickers if you're trail riding. I ended up needing more bridle hooks than I needed hanging space. I've got all my rodeo shirts on here and they probably take up about this much room. So over here, I have extra bridle hooks, the kind that you set over a fence rail. And then it gives you like 4 to 6 more hooks down here. I've got that hanging up on mine. I do haul a lot out of my trailer. I've never had that fall off. Not saying it won't, depends on your driving, but that ended up just being a good extra hanging bridle space for me right there. Over here on our partition wall, we've got 2 rows of bridle hooks with carpet behind. So when you add bridle hooks, you will get the carpet behind the bridle hooks standard. That part's already included. The upcharge would be if you wanted to fully carpet this entire partition wall. I do have that upgrade on my trailer and I like that. I think it gives it a nice clean finished look. Probably helps regulate the temperature with that carpet a little bit better. And then I do have more bridle hooks, so that is something you guys can do. I'll go ahead and push this out of the way so we can see that full partition wall really well right here. So if you wanted to fully carpet this wall, you guys could add 2 more rows of hooks right here to get that hanging space. That's what I have in mind, and I still needed more. So something if you're building a trailer, but also something our shop can do here as well. Our shop can do a lot of upgrades. I actually have 3 different trailers going through service right now for multiple different upgrades. So anything is possible. Keep that in mind. We could definitely do that here for you guys. And then over here, kind of in our dead space, I always like to use this for that water tank. You get your High Country Plastics corner water tank. It does fill at the top. So you'll have just your screw-on cap up here, throw a hose right in there, and it will fill up. It's up on a stand. And then you just have your 1 spigot down below, and then you get a 10-foot hose with it. This one's already connected to show you guys. tons of length here. You're gonna get this all the way out your tack room with how long this is. This is gonna go way out there. You guys can fill buckets that way. It's got plenty of length when you do stretch it out to rinse your horses off, especially after like a mud run, long hot trail ride. We're getting pretty hot here. I think it was 88 yesterday. But your horses get sweaty, you wanna rinse them off, rinse off one of your dogs. Again, fill water buckets, fill water bowls. Nice having that hose and water on board, especially because traveling, you guys know if any time due to an accident or weather or road closures, you could end up in traffic that you don't plan to get stuck in. Nobody ever plans for that, but if something were to happen, you get stranded on a highway for 3 hours, you're gonna have water on here to water your horses. So always something to keep in mind is plan for the unexpected. And then you guys see, we do have tons of room here with our 42-inch door opening to be able to climb in and out right here with your saddles on there. That's why we do that big opening. Our light switch right here, not gonna work for me right now. I think we're just having a dead battery issue on this one from someone leaving a light on earlier, but we do have our light switch right here that does control our OptiBright. Take my word for it, guys, those are very bright. I've got them in my trailer, I love them. I always say lights up like a city because it does. Gives you guys lots of visibility in here. I think this one is probably sufficient for this space right here. But if you did add length to this tack room, you guys are checking out the nose up there right now, that's a great spot to add an additional light. If you just wanted a little bit more, you guys can throw one up there. While we're up there, before we step out, I want to point out our AC frame. This is standard on all trailers as well. That's just going to come with it. So if ever you wanted to, as build process here at Transwest or in the future, it's already have the aluminum framework to pop that out and add an AC unit in here. But we'll go ahead and make our way out of that RTG front tack and work our way back down this trailer. So we did upgrade on this side to our drop down windows on the hip side. So standard, you're gonna get sliding bus windows. You guys can also change that to stock sides if you just wanted those 2 rows of plexiglass, you can do that as well. Or if you wanted to do drop downs with jail bars, I've got a customer, his trailer's in production right now, his is gonna have those because he plans to turn some horses loose, some mares and foals inside of his trailer. So he wanted the jail bars on the hip side as well. That's an option for you guys. But we also have this where you can just do drops on the hip side without those jail bars. It's gonna get you guys really good ventilation through there. It's really popular with our southern customers out east. A lot more humidity here than here in Colorado. So if you want more air movement, this is an option, but no, you guys can pick from all of those. Again, with our door earlier, same really airtight seal. So I always like to mention you guys are gonna slam these as well. Just make sure you do it wherever your latch is. So when you throw it up, put your hand there and give it a good shove. So if you don't want that all the way open, you still do have your sliding bus window in there for some extra ventilation. And then these do also pop into place. So you can drive with those down and they're not gonna catch the wind and flap in the wind. They're also very large and very heavy. I like to mention that because they do have some really good weight to them. That's why I suggest slamming them. But also to point out the quality of the product here. We're not looking at a prefabricated product. We're not looking at a plastic product. We're looking at a custom built trailer from start to finish out of aluminum, really good quality. They are heavy, they're gonna stay down, but you do have those rubber sockets there to hold into place. You have your aluminum extrusion here. We always carry it up to the start of your stall area. So you'll always see it to that tack wall right here. That's adding a really good structural integrity piece to your stall area. It just beefens up, thickens up this wall here and makes it real sturdy in your stall area. Those of you that build the bigger trailers, bigger LQs, we typically will carry this all the way to the front just to add structural integrity even further. And then down below, 2 tandem axles on this one, or sorry, just tandem axles, just 2 axles. We're looking at 6,000 pound Dexter rubber torsion axles. Looks like those were an upgrade. You're probably looking at the 5200 as standard on this one, but to jump to the 6,000 wasn't that costly and well worth it if you are going to be loading a lot of weight onto this trailer. Again, empty weight is 4,800, so your GVWR is still 12,000 minus the empty weight and your tongue transfer weight. But If you're looking at building this trailer either extra wide or extra tall, you guys can look at some different axle options or some different tire options. This one is black spoke aluminum wheels, 16-inch with E-rated tires. I do like the black spoke. I think it gives it a really good contrast with your white sheeting. You guys can also change your white sheeting if you wanted to go silver metallic, charcoal, or black. Mine is black. I do like the black. I don't think it makes it any hotter inside my trailer, though it does get a little bit hotter to the touch out here. The silver and the charcoal have been very popular. We'll go ahead and step around to our load space. Being 6'10" wide, that's our standard width. We do 60/40 doors back here. If you guys do add width, say 7'6" or 8 foot, those are your two options. We go back to the 50/50 doors. But back here, having the 60/40 is nice. I walked customers through the lot on Monday and helped them understand why, and then did receive a good understanding of why that made sense and a good appreciation of having that already done for them. That you only have to worry about that one door over there. With your 60/40 split, it's still going to be real easy to get your horses in and out that 60% side. So if you are by yourself, you've got multiple horses, the wind's blowing, you don't even have to mess with this door. You can just mess with one and get them in and out very easily. Down here we do have a rubber bumper to bump your horse's legs getting in versus them hitting that aluminum. If you guys want to add a rear ramp, our shop can do that here. They do that all the time. I just did one yesterday. But they will delete this bumper and then put your ramp on right there. And the ramp will fold over your rear doors back here. Rubber mats on your floor while we're down there. And then we do have our Cimarron's aluminum floor underneath. This is an interlocking piece, so that it's kind of like tongue and groove. They all interlock together, which makes it super sturdy. And then underneath, what you guys do not see under this trailer, and what I always encourage my walks to do when they're here on the lot, is peek underneath. You will see this Cimarron floor is on 4-inch centers. So their floor supports, that just means their floor supports are spaced every 4 inches apart. So climb under your trailers at home. I climb under a lot of our service trailers here that come in to our service bays for work to see what other manufacturers are doing. I have not seen anyone else doing 4-inch centers. Most manufacturers are going to be 16 inches. So 4 inches, think about your horse's hoof. Whenever they stand on this trailer, they will be on at least one floor support, if not 2 floor supports. So a lot of peace of mind for me getting my horses in and out of this trailer. They're always on a floor support. They're never in between 16 inches worth of supports. Also, their floor supports are V-shaped trusses. So previously, their floor supports were rectangular shaped trusses. They already had the strongest floor in the market with that shape. They went ahead and thought, what could they do to be even better and build an even more quality product? They went V-shape, which increased their strength carrying capacity by 60%. So pretty incredible of Cimarron to continue to see what they can do better when they already have such a quality product. So with your Cimarron Norstar, which is your horse trailer model, you're going to get your kick mat all the way around, and you're also going to get your lined and insulated all the way around. So you will not see this in like your stock trailers. You can add it, but it won't be standard in stock trailers. It'll be standard in your horse trailers. Kick mat's higher on the hip side versus your partition wall and your head side. And then also you're going to see your fully insulated all the way around on your partition wall as well. While we're talking about insulation, and I have you guys up here, your Cimarron roof. This is the same roof on any trailer that Cimarron builds. So their stock boxes, their cargo trailers, sled trailers, cattle trailers, you're always going to have this. It's a 1/2 inch thick, and it's fiberglass reinforced honeycomb material. Looks the same up on top as it does right here for you guys. Gives it an R3 thermal value, so 20% cooler in the summer. I can feel it's much cooler in here than where you guys are at out there. And then 20% warmer in the winter. And also dent resistant up to a baseball size hail. So right now we are in hail season in Colorado. If you come walk the lot, you will see, unfortunately, most of our Cimarrons are out from under our canopies, and our other manufacturers that just have aluminum sheeted roofs are going to be under those canopies to stay protected. My Cimarron's parked outside, so it is susceptible to that, but it will take up to a baseball size hail. Adds a lot of structural integrity there as well, but also keeps it so comfortable in here for your horses. And then we also have roof vents. They are 2-way roof vents over each stall. And then compare these to other roof vents that you've seen other manufacturers, I think these are just built better. A lot of people explain why I want a Cimarron. I think just fit and finish, the quality of their products. Yes, your trailer may have two-way roof vents, but I think these ones are built to last longer. They're not gonna break as easy. I actually had one a couple weeks ago that I went to push on a used trailer, and it snapped on my hand and it cut my hand open with that plastic. This doesn't do that. You're just gonna pull down on that black piece and push it open forwards. I do that up front. You guys, you can look at my Cimarron right now at home. My first two are pushed open like this one, so it pulls the air in, and then my back two back here are pushed open backwards like that, to be drawing the air out. So it gets a really good airflow across my horse's backs with that, but it's always like that. And then first divider here, we have a stud divider. You guys can change that back to a partial if you don't want the stud divider. You can also make it a full stud wall and carry it all the way across their hip as well. And then up here, this is solid. This is standard. If you guys want, we can change that to bar type or airflow. It's the same thing. And you can do that back here across the hips as well. If you wanted to carry those jail bars all the way back here for your full wall, you can do that. You can also interchange. You can tell Cimarron, I want this one airflow and I want that one solid. You guys can do that. It's whatever you need for your horses and what's gonna work best for them. And then we have our padding. Mine doesn't have it. I tell all my customers, you can add it after the fact. I had a trailer yesterday, the one with the ramp, they added pads as well. And they tell me, they're like, hey, we just added it to ours. Remember, you can add it to yours. You certainly can. I just have to get my Cimarron back here. But you can add padding after the fact. It gives your horses more cushion. I know my horses lean on my dividers because I can see the aluminum rubs on them and leaves those black streaks. So I know they would probably appreciate the comfort of that, especially because you never know when you're gonna have to step on those brakes pretty good. And maybe throw them up against the dividers. It's nice to give them that padding when that does happen. And then I'll show you guys back here in this stud, or in this stall area. We do have 3 D-rings in every single stall. So this is gonna be standard size for any corner feeder. Weaver and Professional's Choice both make one that can fit in there. I can get measurements, but it is standard size. I've had some customers ask about that as well. If you don't utilize that, I don't. As I told you earlier on, my corner feeders are still up in my front tack. I haven't installed them. You still do get 2 tie rings per stall, and that's typically what I end up using the most. Is it's real easy to tie a hay net or a hay bag up in the very front one, and then right here I'll tie a piece of twine, clip my trailer tie to that twine, and then clip the trailer tie to their halter. I always pull off lead ropes when I do that. But will you have the versatility and the options when you have those 2 tie rings to use it how you need to? And then your jail bars on your drop down windows. I know they don't have an option right now. Some customers have figured out options to add screens, but that is something that Cimarron is working on, is to fit a window screen for these jail bars. So they're always, again, innovative and trying to be better and build better and make sure you guys are happy with your trailer. And then as we step out, we've got our butt strap back here, just an added safety feature. It does clip over here. So when you do have a horse tied up in this stall right here and their hip is back here and you open these doors, they don't feel like they need to start stepping out. They're gonna hit this and stay in their stall area until you get in and untie them. I do have one that does that. So he never rides in the back, but I do have that butt strap on mine and I would definitely use that if he were back here. And then this space right here, kind of just a dead space. I always throw my lead ropes right there, or an extra bale of hay or something. Our shop can add one of those folding rear tack walls after the fact. I've had many customers do it. Even if you don't want to move your tack back here, you guys can add just that folding wall, and you guys can use that as your broom closet to hold brooms, pitchforks, muck tubs. You do, if you haul to fairgrounds and trailheads and stuff, you like to clean up after yourself. I always kept a muck tub and a pitchfork in that area in my previous trailer that had that space. Water buckets, lead ropes. You guys can add hooks within that space if you want to, but you can also just have that wall if you wanted that space. This trailer 7'1" tall. We can go in 3-inch increments, so we can get to 7'4", 7'7", or 7'10". If you're needing that extra space for your taller, your thoroughbreds, your warm bloods, you need extra height, you can do that. You need extra width, you can go 7'6" or 8 feet wide. And then our stalls, our standard stall width is 39 inches. You guys have thicker boned warm bloods, you want the 42-inch width, we can do that as well as part of the build process. Load lights, we have an 8-inch awning LED light up there. It's not turned on, but that will give you the visibility down here for your load space. And then we have Optibrights inside. It looks like we've got 2 over your hips in this trailer for your visibility inside. That could be changed again if you guys wanted 1 in there, if you wanted 3 in there. When you go wider back here, you can add an extra one up top for a load light as well. I could go on and on all day about the options that Cimarron offers. These are full custom builds, so guys, get creative and bring us your ideas and we'll see what we can build for you. Moving around to our head side, this is going to be that drill bar drop down window that we saw from the inside. So this window does lock into place as well. You guys can drive with these open. When you want to drop your jail bars, you're just going to work this window until your jail bars get to that groove and drop those down. No moving parts on this jail bar, it's all one piece here. Now you guys can get in there and check on your horses. You could get in and unclip their trailer ties, fill their corner feeders, offer them some water, let them stretch their heads out when you're parked at a fuel stop, anything like that. Also real easy to put those back up. And if you don't need that much ventilation, again, you're gonna wanna slam this window at your latch, but you do have your built-in bus window as well. 3 tie rings, we've got those on both sides. You guys can tie up on either side with that option. And then up front, we do have the escape door, leads to your stud wall area. So this is a perfect spot. I, again, have my shop at home now, so I don't use this as much for storage as I used to, but this space used to be filled with all my Rubbermaid tubs. It's great having that stud wall. You guys can store a bunch of hay in there if you're gonna go a couple states away for a rodeo or a horse show or a camping trip. You guys can store all your hay and shavings in there and have your 2 horses behind that. Whatever you need, if you guys just put a horse in there, you do have your chest bar, so they will not step out of the trailer when you do open this space. But within this escape door, you still get the drop down window as well, so you're not missing that. Your horse will still get a drop down for that ventilation there. And then knowing that you have horses on the other side of this door that can easily open that latch from inside, we have a secondary butterfly latch right there. They are all keyed the same, so you guys can lock up this trailer 100% if you were storing and parking this somewhere, maybe at your boarding facility or something like that. You want to keep it locked up, you can do that by locking all of your windows. And then up here, not standard, but something that we do on all of our runaround trailers is our 53-inch drop wall. We hear this all the time now. Our customers are getting into those newer trucks. Those trucks are getting taller and taller. Their older trailers are now driving down the road behind them at such an angle. You're wearing on your axles, you're wearing on your tires, and potentially denting those bed rails on your trucks if you don't have a flatbed. So this 53 inches is going to take out 3 inches of this space up here, which you guys probably didn't even notice that was missing. I don't notice it missing in my trailer at home, but I can appreciate what it does for me out here on my truck bed rails. It's giving me the clearance that I need. I don't have to hesitate pulling into those gas stations that have those big lips anymore. I can get into those with confidence. But this is definitely something I recommend on all our runaround trailers, is to go ahead and do that for you guys, especially if you haven't upgraded trucks yet, but you know you're going to, or if your friend needs to haul you somewhere one day. It's always best to just be prepared and have that extra clearance. Underneath, we have this one upgraded to your electric jack. This is an Equalizer jack. This is what I have on mine. Mine did not come with it, but I did not take it home until service added one for me. So know that our service department can do this for you guys as well. Seeing that we are having battery problems today, it's nice to note that this jack has a manual override option, so you guys can crank this up and down if you get in the same scenario. Your little handle is stored over here. And then we do have an aluminum battery box with our battery inside of here that also locks and is keyed the same. Full-size matching spare tire over here, which we do have to mount up higher on standard width when we add the electric jack. But I also think it's nice to have it up here because it just protects it, lifts it up further, gets it even further away from all that rock debris or road spray that splashes up on it. But again, matching black rim and full-size So if you guys do want to work that into your tire rotation program and get some use out of it before you replace them, you could definitely do that. This trailer is your brand new Cimarron, so you're going to get an 8-year structure warranty and then 3-year hitch to bumper warranty on this trailer from the day that you sign paperwork. This one's a 2025 model. They're working on 2026s now. So if you do look at building one, that's what you're going to be looking at. I would love to help you guys out. This trailer is still available, but if it gave you some options for a really cool build for yourself, go ahead and give me a call either way. My cell phone is 303-918-6367. You guys can also text that number if you prefer. And then my email, Michaela.hall@transwest.com. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us this morning, and we'll see you next week.